All right, let's bring in Stephen Farnsworth, political analyst with the University of Mary Washington. Professor, thanks for being here with us. Trump has rallies scheduled today in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Well, Harris has multiple stops in Michigan. What are you anticipating from their final push today?
Well, I think that what we're going to see is what we've been seeing all along through this campaign. These campaigns have been remarkably consistent in their kinds of messaging. And so you can expect from Donald Trump, what you just heard in that segment, the idea that the election is about to be stolen, a lot of anger, a lot of vitriol. That's the Donald Trump strategy to get his voters engaged into getting them turned out. From the Harris campaign, you see a message that is about trying to bring the country together, trying to create a message that is more hopeful, more optimistic, that you heard in the church event this morning. That's the kind of strategies I think both campaigns are applying. Use the messaging that has worked for them so far throughout the remaining days.
Now, Kamala Harris appeared on Saturday Night Live last night. What did you make of it?
Well, I have actually a book on political humor, Late Night in Washington. And so there's very much of an idea that connecting with voters who are not that likely to turn out or not that connected to politics, that political humor is a good vehicle for them to do just this. You see, when you look at survey research, that a lot of people do get some political learning from these late night comedy shows. And when you're thinking about an election where you're trying to reach people who are not reflexively partisan, those political junkies who knew which party they were going to vote for even before the nominees were, political humor is a good place for them to go to get to those kind of hard to reach, maybe not likely to turn out voters.
We've seen Trump, he's always done this, but especially lately, he has been ramping up his message that the electoral system is rigged. Is this him preparing for a possible loss?
Well, I think that's absolutely the case. Remember in 2016, when he thought he might lose, he said that the election was going to be stolen. Then he won, and you didn't hear that. In 2020, when he said that the election was going to be stolen, and then, of course, he didn't prevail, you heard the narrative that went down the road throughout November and December, culminating, of course, in January 6th. And so I think what we're seeing in this election cycle is what we've always seen from Donald Trump. If he doesn't win the election, then he's going to argue that it was stolen.
Kamala Harris gaining popularity in Iowa, according to a new poll. She's ahead of him, and Donald Trump won twice in that state. Do you think he's worried?
Well, I think it makes sense for Donald Trump to be worried about these poll numbers. If the Iowa survey is correct, and this is a pollster with a pretty good reputation, that suggests that there really is an abortion backlash that continues into 2024. That reality, remember that Donald Trump appointed Supreme Court justices that helped overturn Roe versus Wade, created a powerful backlash in the 2022 election. That's a key question. But one thing that makes me a little hesitant to be all that convinced about the results in that Iowa poll is that we're not seeing comparable dynamics in some of these other states where Democrats traditionally have done better. If Iowa is leaning towards Harris in the way that poll number suggests, why aren't we seeing similar movements towards her in Michigan or in Wisconsin, nearby states that are more Democratic than Iowa has been historically? And so there is, I think, a dynamic here that really does suggest we're headed towards a photo finish election.
Interesting. We'll have to leave it there. That's our time. Thank you very much for your insight, Professor.
Thank you.